And then they quoted me and said I was there to support the legislation. No, I was there to say thank you for noticing our plight over here. And but no, we don't want to be part of Indiana.
That is G.H. Merritt, chairman of New Illinois. Sit-down conversation I had with her earlier this month after the New Illinois group held their 7th convention in Bloomington. And I tell you, it's fascinating to see where this is going after having covered this issue for several years. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Some say no thanks to Indiana and their move to try to absorb disgruntled Illinois counties. So what's going on here? Indiana, they approved their House Bill 1008 out of both chambers, and now that could be sent to Indiana Governor Mike Braun. The measure creates the Indiana-Illinois Boundary Adjustment Commission to look at welcoming more than 24 Illinois counties into the Hoosier State. Now, all of this obviously still pending a governor's signature in Indiana. And you've heard people in the past, including the Indiana House Speaker, talk about why they feel this is necessary. Here is Todd Houston on WISH-TV talking about this when they introduced this resolution earlier this year following November elections.
We're excited about having that conversation this year. And to all of our neighbors to the west, we hear your frustrations and invite you to join us in a low-cost, low-tax Indiana.
Now, obviously, controversial issue. Governor Pritzker, we'll hear a little bit later, called it a stunt. But Houston, he says that people in some parts of the state, they've already made up their mind.
It's serious because these people have already decided. They've gone on the record. They've actually taken votes, 7 just in November alone, 7 counties in November alone who said they want to be part of Indy. They want to succeed. They don't need to succeed. They just need to join us.
So are the individuals who approved those non-binding resolutions across the state of Illinois, what is there, like 30 plus or something, including one of the larger counties. I believe it's was it Madison or McLean? Either way, you've got a lot of counties in southern Illinois that have over the years approved non-binding resolutions to say we want to split off from Chicago and Cook County. How do you go about doing that? Obviously, a lot of hurdles. You got to get the General Assembly of the state of Illinois to approve a resolution, and then you got to get Congress to approve a resolution, and that's just to split the state into 2. I don't even know what it would mean if you got Indiana wanting to take over some Illinois counties and what that would take. So with the advancement of House Bill 1008 in Indiana and the governor there looking at possibly signing this, it would essentially create a commission between Indiana and Illinois. There would be 6 members from Indiana and 5 members from Illinois. Appointed under Illinois law, so that could just remain vacant, as the Illinois Democrats would just completely push against this from all indication I've received. But the Indiana Commission could still conduct business even with just the Indiana Commission members. And the first meeting has to happen by like September of this year. So if the governor signs it, we'll see what happens. But I sat down with several individuals at the New Illinois Convention earlier this month in Bloomington, Illinois, and Larry Mulch was somebody very integral in communicating the issues around the efforts for New Illinois. He talked a bit about this idea of separating the states versus joining Indiana.
Have you seen the map, the division, how that they want the lower half? Well, that's where our black gold is at. That's where our coal is at. Of course they want that part, and they don't want Chicago because they're so connected with Chicago that when Chicago goes under, they know they're going with them, and they don't want that. So they want us to have, and that line draws me into the old Illinois.
And that's some concerns people have with looking at whatever proposed map there is. There's a lot of people outside of the areas that Indiana has preliminarily looked at that say they don't want to be stuck with old Illinois. So part of the idea of New Illinois is to have Chicago and Cook County separated and have the 2 different states. G.H. Merritt, she laid out that, listen, they appreciate appreciate Indiana and their efforts to essentially shine a light on Illinoisans who are concerned about the state's direction financially, some social policy issues and such. But she says they don't want to join Indiana.
They said because there was some senator that they were quoting saying that this was initiated by Illinois, and nobody I know in this movement initiated it at all.
Like a relationship between Illinois and Indiana?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
The suggestion of becoming part of Indiana. I know Lorette Newland, who's the head of Illinois separation referendum, and she will tell you that referendum, it talks about splitting Illinois. It doesn't talk about another state. And so she didn't reach out to them. I didn't reach out to them. So I don't know who he's talking about. And then what else was it that they said that, oh yeah, and then they quoted me and said I was there to support the legislation. No, I was there to say thank you for noticing our plight over here. And but no, we don't want to be part of Indiana.
So clearly, at least the leaders of these groups are saying no, they didn't reach out to Indiana for this. They're not sure how Indiana decided to move forward with this, but also earlier this month I talked with State Representative Brad Halbrook, who's had year after year after year the resolution at the General Assembly to split the state into two. And Halbrook, he laid out that, listen, there's a lot of resource issues here. It's not just the social issues. There's some financial issues that could go along with absorbing states into another state or separating the state into two.
And I don't think anybody from Illinois called the Speaker of the Indiana House and said, hey, would you run this legislation? Those guys see the plight of good people in Illinois and the oppression that they're realizing and saying, look, and I think one thing that came out in the Indiana Senate Committee hearing is the amount of natural resources in Illinois that's being untapped. And if they can adopt these counties with these rich coal and oil reserves and be able to tap into a small level of a tax there, which Illinois does now, and I assume Indiana has the same thing. I mean, it could be, I think Indiana looks at this as, well, okay, there's a kind of a social aspect to it, but there's also a financial aspect to it.
And think about the tax revenue from a whole host of things, and you also have to consider if the state was to split into two. Would Indiana take on Southern Illinois pension debt? One thing that Halbrook said was that, teachers' retirement system in Illinois is 47% funded, and most of that is the downstate teachers' pensions. So any new state that's created or any, expansion of Indiana, they're going to have to chop that up and have some liabilities shift around. So those are some of the concerns that the people of New Illinois are discussing. And even at their 7th convention in Bloomington, they discussed some financial issues along those lines and how that would play out over time, what that would look like. And they also talked about their new constitution for New Illinois. How long is this all going to take? Not sure, but Halbrook says that it's clear there's a lot of momentum here.
Yeah, I think, I trust that the movement will continue to go forward. I hope it continues to grow. I think the stuff that Indiana's doing, I'm kind of curious, will Wisconsin, will Iowa, will Missouri, will Kentucky, and say, look, we want in on some of that, so we're willing to take counties that are close to us. Is there an appetite of Illinoisans to say, look, we, in the southwest corner of the state, we're quite okay to be part of Missouri, okay? Closer to Jefferson City than we are Springfield or Chicago or Indianapolis. Maybe that makes sense. Is there things that geographically work that way? Whatever the case might be. So I trust that over the next several weeks and months and years that the momentum grows.
We'll see if that momentum does grow. Earlier this year, Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about all of this, with Indiana putting forward that measure to create a commission between Indiana and Illinois. Pritzker, not a fan of the idea.
Well, it's a stunt. It's not going to happen. But I'll just say that that Indiana is a low-wage state that doesn't protect workers, a state that does not provide health care for people when they're in need. And so I don't think that it's very attractive for anybody in Illinois, where wages are higher, where the standard of living is higher. and where we do provide health care for people who are in need.
More to come on all of that. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up with us each and every weekday morning. Live for Illinois in Focus here with the Center Square on YouTube. Get the headlines in your inbox. Go to thecentersquare.com and sign up for that newsletter. It's free. And you can also get the podcast where you get podcasts. Just search Illinois in Focus and you'll find it. We're among the top rated here in Illinois for news and more. So go get it. All right. Illinois in Focus Daily. Share this up. Tell your friends about it. And wake up with us each and every weekday morning here with the Center Square and Illinois in Focus Daily.